Hey guys, Alex here with Serious Goose Games. Welcome back to our Unity Tactics RPG tutorial. In the last video, we set up turn management so we could start adding enemies to our game. Today, we're going to set up our enemy and make it so that when you click on an enemy with a unit selected, the unit will move to be within range of the enemy. The first thing we're going to do is in our materials folder, we're going to right click and create a new material. We're going to call this unit_enemy. Go ahead and change the color to red. And now we want to go to our prefabs and we're going to drag another unit into our scene. So I'm going to get out of 2D mode and I want to zoom in on my unit. So I'm going to double click in the hierarchy on one of my units. That's going to bring me right into them. And now I'm going to drag another unit into the scene. I'm going to name it enemy unit. And I'm going to go to my materials folder and I'm going to change its color to the enemy material. So now we have an enemy in our scene. Next, we're going to select our player object in the hierarchy. We're going to do Control D to duplicate. And we're going to rename the duplicated one enemy. So now we have two players. One is us and the other is the enemy. On the enemy, I'm going to get rid of all of the player units, and I can do that by clicking this little number here and changing it to 0. And I'm going to change the player name to enemy. Now I'm going to select my turn manager, and I'm going to drag the enemy into the players list. We'll select enemy again, and we're going to drag enemy unit into player units. Next, we're going to go to our scripts, and we're going to open up the player script. Down inside snap units, we're going to add a line to set the owner of the unit in question. So unit.owner is equal to this. That will make sure every unit is properly assigned. Then we're going to scroll up and we're going to add a bool. Public bool is player turn. We want to know, is it this player's turn or not? And by default, that'll be false. Now we're going to hop on over to our turn manager script. We're going to scroll down to end turn. Inside end turn, we're going to add a couple lines. So underneath where we reset the units, we're going to do players, active player index, dot is player turn equals false. And then underneath where we set the new player index, we're going to set that to be true. So players, active player index, dot is player turn equals true. So we reset the units of the active player. We set their turn to be false. It's no longer their turn. We increment our player index. And then we grab the new player and set it to be their turn. We also want to make sure when the game starts that we tell the current active player that it's their turn. So the first player needs to be able to go. So inside start, we're going to do players, active player index, dot is player turn equals true. Now that we've got that handled, we want to head over to our unit script. We only want to be able to do things when it's the player's turn who owns the unit. So inside move to, if it's not the player's turn, so if not, then we'll do owner dot is player turn. So if it's not their turn, we're going to return out of the function. Now we're going to go down to on pointer down, and we're going to do the same thing. We only want to change the unit if it's the player's turn. So if owner dot is player turn, then we'll change the selected unit. Now we want to create the function that's actually going to get us the closest attack tile in range. So we're going to go to our grid manager. We'll put it at the bottom. And this is going to be a public tile called get closest attack tile. And we want to pass in a unit called target and a unit called attacker. Now we're going to create a list of tiles called attack tiles. We're going to set that to be equal to a new list. Now we're going to do int attack range is equal to attacker.attack range. Next, we'll do a for each loop. So for each tile in map. So we're going to loop through our map. If the tile dot in move range and the tile is not occupied, then we're going to grab a float called distance to target. This is going to be equal to get heuristic, get tile. We're going to pass in our target dot grid position and tile. Then we're going to do if distance to target is less than attack range, then attack tiles dot add tile. And it's yelling at us because I put the parentheses in the wrong spot. Get heuristic only takes one argument, or get tile only takes one argument in the way that we're using it. Next, we're going to do kind of a standard get closest loop. So tile closest tile is equal to null. And then float best distance is equal to float dot max value. And then we're going to loop through our attack tiles. We'll create a float called distance to attacker. That'll be equal to get heuristic. I'll pass in attacker dot grid position and our tile. So inside this for each loop, we're going to check to see what our distance is. If it's less than our best distance, we're going to set that tile to be our closest tile, and we're going to change best distance to whatever our current shortest distance is. So we're going to create a float called distance to attacker, and we're going to set this to be equal to get heuristic. Inside here, we'll do get tile, like we did above. We'll pass in our attacker dot grid position, and then we'll pass in tile as the second thing for get heuristic. So if our distance to attacker is less than our best distance, then we want to set our closest tile to be equal to tile and our best distance to be equal to distance. And then at the very end, we will return the closest tile. Now we're going to hop back to unit and modify on pointer down. So we want to add an else statement here. So else if player dot selected unit. So if the player has a selected unit right now, then we're going to grab a tile reference called closest attack tile. We're going to set this to be equal to owner dot grid manager dot get closest attack tile. We're going to pass in this as the defender, and then player dot selected unit as the attacker. After that, we're going to do player dot selected unit dot move to, and we're going to pass in closest attack tile dot transform dot position. And then we're also going to pass in the closest attack tile dot grid position. Once that's done, you can save all of your code and head back to Unity. So some slight oddity with this behavior. If I click on the enemy unit, we will move to the best position we can get into, which is here apparently. If I do it again, we move closer. If I do it again, we move further back. So it's always going to try and get the closest tile that's within range, but also kind of on the edge of the attack. So this unit has a range of, looks like 3. So it's going to stay pretty well on the edge of its attack range. Now that might seem odd, but it is beneficial for keeping kind of squishier ranged units out of harm's way, and it keeps the enemy on the edge of its attack range. We can still manually position our units into attack range if we want to control our positioning directly. This is just kind of a nice, click the unit, click the enemy, move within range, attack. In the next video, we're going to add the ability to attack the enemy unit and what happens when they run out of health. That's all for today, though, so if you like this video, leave a like down below and subscribe so you catch the next one. Question for the comments: in Fire Emblem, units have a minimum range. Archery units can't attack enemies adjacent to them. Would you prefer to use a system like that, or a system where the effectiveness of their attacks are based on range, so the distance between the attacker and target influences the damage? As always, thanks for watching. I'm Alex with Serious Goose Games, and I'll see you in the next one.